This video is not for persons under the age of 13. By watching this video, you are declaring that you are above 13 years of age. Hello and welcome to my first video of Acrylic April 2020. What I'll be using for this particular video are these acrylic gouache by Turner. They're only gouache in name. What they are really is matte acrylic paints. So they are actually acrylics, and you use them in the same way as you would use any other acrylic. So they're the paints I'll be using today, although I do have some backup supplies. You always need black and white just for doing bulk areas. But they're the paints. Let's have a look at the painting. Here is the picture that I'm thinking about painting. It's a person playing a saxophone in what looks like some kind of dark stage area, and these circles represent various different coloured lights, and as they are the only light source, they are having an effect on the various different surfaces that they're hitting, and the multicolours. And although the area around it is dark in tonal value, it still has the value, the colour essence of the light that it's surrounded by. So you've got a strong light there, for example, and that emanates out like that, and then so it makes a very interesting atmospheric painting. And what I'm going to use to get the bulk of the background in is not something you would consider to be a normal, usual painting brush. This is for decorating. It's for doing those fiddly little detail bits in corners when you're doing rollering of various areas of painting. But it's a big brush and you can get large areas in. So anyway, let's get down to actually getting some paint on the painting. Today I'm going to be using some watercolor paper. That helps with being able to make the paint a lot waterier, and that actually helps again with it not underbinding like it does on a canvas. And as you can see at this moment in time, I'm getting the light areas in around the light yellows around the actual lights and the afterglow with it. As you get further down, it gets further away from the light, so I'm putting a mid green in and then blending that into the darkest area of the painting, which is that dark blue. And as you can see, I'm adding bits of the face and the body to those dark areas. I'm pulling out some of the colour to represent the strobing of the light, if it's called that, and just getting a few little bits of blend done in that. You can do that obviously because it's not a thick paint. I'll concentrate a bit more now on the person, the saxophonist, if you want to call him that, getting the light areas of yellow that are being hit by the spotlight, and counteracting that with little bits of dark area and blending those sections in, and that helps create that arm on that left hand side. Okay, we've got that mostly blocked in with the colour values that basically represent the atmosphere of the thing itself, but what we would now need to start doing is carving out the intricate parts of it and getting the right tonal values in so that we can get a good cohesive painting all in one. So we'll leave that to dry thoroughly and then we'll move on to that next stage. Right, we've let that dry to some degree. It's, you know, it's all flattened back off. You know it's dry when the paper flattens. And we're going to start a new layer of paint. Moving on to the next layer, I'm going to put slightly darker versions of what we've already put down. Some burgundies up at the top and some deeper blues down at the bottom. And I'll try to blend these into the existing layer that already exists with both sides there, and getting little bits of area painted in. I'm using a smaller brush now, but I'm still trying to make sure that I'm getting things to blend together, because that's the real key to this painting. We don't want things to look hardened and separated. It's almost like a smoke enveloping the musician, and keep applying dark thin layers of paint, and we'll keep building that up bit by bit, and bits of bright areas as well as we're doing it. It's all about layering and making sure that we also have a coherent phasing in and out of the colours into one another. So I'm going to add a slightly lighter blue to help that fade into the redder area and some of the other lighter areas, so it's not too harsh. And there I am blending that light blue into the red area at the top, and again exactly the same at the other side. It's good practice to see where you can incorporate these colours that they're using that are dominant in various other parts of the image, so you've got one set of colours that can bring the picture together. For example, as I've just done the face there, that's a similar colour to some of the darker areas that we've done earlier, and just finishing some bits of the dark off. So we've got another layer on the painting itself, and it's starting to get where I want it. I want to continue to model the background a little bit, get a bit more stronger light sources from these spotlights and a few other little bits, and then we can move on to the detailing of the painting and getting the overall balance of the tonal values in place towards the end of the painting. I'm using a light orange to emphasise the spotlight areas and give that a little bit more strength, because I feel that they're not as strong as they ought to be. And I'm also putting that colour in key areas such as the face, which would have a lot of that light hitting it. And again, I'm picking out spots all over the painting where that kind of light might hit it. I'll add a stronger orange to the light there, giving it a bit of an halo, and again adding some details just to carve out the painting a little bit so we know where we're going with it, and making sure that the key elements have got the bits that I need in there, blocking out a little bit of that light there so that that becomes a bit more obvious to us. As you put more deeper colours in, the lighter ones come forward a bit. As I develop the painting, I can start to see where I need to put key highlights or shades or things like that, or bits of detail that just make the painting that bit more interesting. I'm taking some of that orange because it's a very reflective surface, a saxophone, and I'm starting to add bits of detail into the saxophone, as you can see there. We've added a lot of light areas to the saxophone, but now I need to balance that out with areas of dark shade in it to give it that three-dimensional feel. Looking at the highlights now and getting the strongest light sources done there, and obviously we'll need to add highlights to various other parts like the hair I'm doing there, and this just basically going over the key areas with tiny little bits of strong yellow. It's a dark environment, so it's not going to have super strong highlights, but that's the bits that need to be done, and it's the finishing section. Here is the finished photograph of the painting. As you can see, there's lots of nice atmospheric colours that are blended in, and the lights are hitting nicely. I really enjoyed doing this one, and this painting has been for the Acrylic April 2020 challenge. Take a look at the Facebook page, there's one there. I've got details with a hashtag, and you can get involved in that. So thank you for your time. We'll see you in our next video, whatever art thing that is, and take care and be safe. Bye for now.